to do a panel about character design, but before that, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit more. I've been in a professional industry for about 8 years. I work for a lot of game concepts and usually independent for myself. So some company I work for like Capcom, you guys probably know about that. And also work for Star Wars too. So I did some video game for the Force Unleashed. So yeah, and I just been doing shows and private shows here and there. I traveled to the whole U.S., all the Comic-Cons throughout the whole U.S. as well. People have known me as a speed artist, that I do a lot of fast commissions on the fly. And usually all my commissions take about less than 10 minutes or so. So a lot of people ask me like, how did I draw so fast, or how did I come up with a lot of ideas? Now, everything I know, everything I do at my booth or my artwork, it took a lot of training, okay, at art school. I graduated from Academy of Art San Francisco under visual development, character design. So because I want to be a character designer for video games, whatever, or you can also apply to your comic books that you want to draw one day. Closer. Not used to this. All right. So, who here like to draw? Majority of the people. Okay. And you guys like to design your own characters, right? So have you ever drawn your own comic books yet? Have you tried? Nothing? You having a lot of problem designing or writing stories and stuff like that? Yeah. Well, character design is very important, but also before you do any character design, you want to think about your story first too, because in terms of doing characters, you have to think about your time of era of your story. Where the character is taking place at, so you kind of narrow down like certain time of the era of the story. Let's say a post-apocalypse, how the character would be dressing, right? Are they going to be wearing like shiny armor? I don't think so. Not a post-apocalypse like zombies. I don't think they're going to be wearing shiny armor, carrying big swords and everything, right? So it's some common sense like that you want to think about. Character also personality. You want to, when you design them, you want to think about building up that character from a low ground all the way up to the climax of the story. So you have to know about writing a good story to build that part up. So you have to have like a prequel of that character, how it's going to look toward the end. A lot of people like to think about the characters all really super strong and everything and all ultimate form at the beginning. That's cool to do, but the most important part is how they develop to that point first. So you always want to develop like the early concept of it. Also, when you do characters, there's also color palettes, just like Superman. There's about 3 to 5 color palettes on the characters that you want to kind of limit your coloring. So that's what leads to the color control on character design. Right. So if you look at a lot of characters in video games or comic books, usually the colors are not too many of it on the characters that you don't remember. They have a color theme. That's the word. Right. Superman like red, blue, yellow. So that's 3. Right. Captain America, blue, white, red. Just keep it really minimal. Just so when you color them or when you draw them over and over again, you don't, suffer yourself or, try to remember a certain color, tone, and palette or temperatures of it. Okay. So, let's see, what else? Anatomy is very important if you're gonna draw characters. Anatomy is so important. Like when I was at Academy of Art, we would do at least 8-hour sessions of anatomy drawings. We learn like all the muscles, all the bone structures, how every joints work, the length of the arm, the size of the head compared to the size of the body is very important. I know a lot of animes probably like big eyes, big head, you know, elongated body whatsoever. I mean, that's cool, but they still have to keep it as proportional as you want to be more realistic too. So anatomy is very important. Also perspective is also important, because when you're going to draw your characters into different kind of poses, you want that dynamic going, like foreshortening, like character reaching. So anatomy will help that part too. Anatomy basically just like a lot of people have hard time to look anatomy of humans into shapes, right? So a lot of time people will just draw big hands, shorter arms, whatever, but you have to really understand how every shapes work. It's like putting a big ball. Just imagine this is like a big sphere of ball in front of another ball, in front of another ball, in front of another ball. So when you draw it, I want you to think about geometry. You know, every drawing is just shapes. Okay, you want to treat every part of the body, of human body, like a shape. Circle, triangle, circle. Let's see, like circle, through like all the joints, you know. So I don't want you guys to try to work on detail right away when you do character design, and always do like little concept sketch. It's not like you finish one and you're like, okay, that's it. This is gonna be the main guy. No. At my school, they always teach you to do at least hundreds of sketches for one character to really get a right one. You know, you have to test it out, like what kind of scarf, long scarf, short scarf, long pants, short pants, you know, hairstyle. I mean, you can do hundreds on one characters. Okay, it's very, very important. And every character have their own symbol that represent who they are. If you want to make it like a really, really stand out characters, right? So, I mean, if you go out there and you look at the characters, you notice right away, let's see, what's a good example? Attack on Titan. You guys probably know that show, most of you. I mean, what is the most point out? The brown jacket and the 3D maneuver gear? I mean, that's pretty much tell who they are and what they do, right? So it's like little things like that that will represent your character. Or a character can only have like accessory that represent who they are too. That accessory can also tell a story. You know, you can write a story about that, how they received that, and it just represents it. Some characters have like crazy horns. How's that? You know, let's see, like Hellboy. I mean, how many characters out there have one horn? Or like no horns at all, like Hellboys, right? Yeah, no horns. And then when he gets strong, he grew all the horns, right? And that's character symbol. It's like an icon for them that represent who they are. And it's something that when you talk about it, people know exactly which character that is. And that leads to me when I do a lot of commission for people. When people tell me like, oh, can you do this? Can you draw that? I was like, yeah, of course, I can always say yes. Why? Because I understand the concept of it. I understand that I try to look at that character and look what is the specific part of it. Color, symbol, hairstyle. That's it, pretty much. I mean, characters, I mean, you look at the hairstyles, like, there's a lot of different hairstyles, there's a lot of different costumes. The color palette also helps me too. Like, I look at the first 3 colors and I can depict it already how to draw the characters, you know. So, I mean, all this idea is something that you want to kind of take into account to think about how you're going to design it later, you know. You guys have any questions though? I mean, I talk a lot, but it's better if you have questions. Yes?
When you talk about sketches, how do you determine how much detail you put in to make it calculated?
Jesus. Okay. As far as sketches go, what do you determine how much detail you put into, like, what do you do to determine that a sketch is finished?
Good questions. So I don't know. A lot of you might be familiar with my style. Some of you may not. But I was trained under ZBrush, this type of Japanese calligraphy. So everything's really abstract, but it's also, you can tell what it is, right? Because color palettes, right? If somebody asked me to draw Gundams, I can still draw Gundam in less than 10 minutes, but with my style. But it still represents that Gundam that the person was asking, because I look at the color palettes and I treat mech like anatomy, you know. So they're just geometry shapes, basically. You know. Did that answer any questions? Did that answer your questions? Yeah? Okay. Anybody else? No one have questions? Hey, man. So go.
So are you, so are all your old files, you were able to save them at all?
Oh, you talk about my post on Facebook that I lost my hard drive. No, I was not able to recover anything from the hard drive that damaged. I mean, it was pretty heartbreaking for me. I went on a shutdown for 2 days. I mean, I didn't want to tell anybody. I cried. I mean, it's all my PSD files in there. But what I was able to still have are the PDF file that make prints. But all my original Photoshop files that I draw and everything, it's gone. Yeah, and including all about 5,000 photos of commissions. It's gone. Wipe clean. Yeah, it's gone. So the only photo I backed up I have is 2010 commissions, all the way up to the recent, on Facebook. Everything on computer's gone, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people cheer me up. My mom, my wife told me that you still have your hand, you still have your brain, you still have your talent. So you can still create something else. You just have to create something. You just have to move on. Yeah.
Are you gonna make all the old prints or anything, all the old stuff limited edition and sell for like a ton of money?
No, like all the old prints, I still have them. I still have the file to print them out. It's just that, you know, the new piece I did was League of Legends. That one I have to redo. Because I did redo it, you know. It took me 7 days, you know, of 5-hour sessions throughout the whole day. I mean, the latest one, I tried to finish before the show, just to shade alone, shading. It took me from 12 noon to 7 a.m. in the next day. That's how long it took. Yeah. Yes?
So, what would be easier, like drawing with your hand or like computer drawing? Because I know people that do both, and some say computer's better, and other people say it's better with just drawing with pencil and paper.
Well, I was trained traditionally, you know, at the Academy Bar to teach you how to use oil, teach you how to use charcoal, acrylic, watercolor, and then digital. Now, I did not ever believe that you would be good just digital, because art are created with hands. Okay, we are born, we were learned and taught to do traditional from the beginning, humankind. Okay, I mean, digital now these days are like, they're just enhance it. They make the work faster. They take less space. You know, like for me, I mean, if I live in a studio, I don't have a lot of space to put up canvas and start painting, right? And in order to do so, you need a large studio to put up all those paintings, you know? So it's more like a working space. But I still think that you should be sharpening up your skill traditionally first before you jump to digital. Just because you learn how to control the color better. Digital, they're just tools. It's just another type of tools. It just make your work faster. All the prints are really vibrant. You know, save more space. You know, but to draw on a Cintiq or draw on a monitor, for me, I like to draw on paper first. You know, because the flow of line. Every time you sketch, I still like to draw with pencil. So I like to do a really nice flow on a pencil, on a paper first, scan it in, and then clean it up on Photoshop. You know, that's what I do. Some people would just sketch it out and just paint everything on Photoshop now. I mean, that's what they prefer. You know, it depends on the painting style too. I mean, I do both. But for me, I like traditional because once, like, she was just mentioning about me lost my hard drive. Okay, I had 8 years worth of work on that hard drive. So imagine if you only do digitally, you will not have anything backed up. If I swear, like everybody said, like, oh, you should have backup, you should have backup. But trust me, when you're at a busy moment, you do not have time to do like manually drop every time you finish something. Okay, and things can happen right in the morning. Like for me, I just finished the work, right? And the next morning, you know, I walk into my office, I hear like tick noise. I just like turn it off, turn it on, the hard drive's wiped clean. It was no warning at all. And I just spent 7 days on that one piece on digital. So it's good to have traditional work skills too, because you can, like, I can be at the booth and I can still do it, you know, on the fly for people without having to carry my computer cases, you know. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you ever worry about quality loss going from like hand drawing onto computer when you're about to clean it up?
You mean like the quality of the traditional to the computer? Not so much, because computer now these days you can tweak a lot. So let's say if I have a large canvas about this size, right? Usually I can either do a high-res photograph of the whole thing, and then pass it in Photoshop, tweak the colors. So it should be okay, because like my original painting, like the one like about this big, I sell to Disney for $3 grand. You know, you can still sell them. So sometimes it's better to work large and just keep your original too. But never really lose quality. But I still said if you do something traditional, it's always worth more than digital file. Always worth more. Because it's one of a kind. You know, you're not going to sit there and paint that big canvas over again. Yep.
What kind of work are you wanting to do for video games other than art? Like, do you want to do storyboarding, or are you wanting to like design the story or anything?
As for a video game right now, I'm not as interested to work for them anymore, just because, you know, it's better to be your own boss and just go do meet your fans. You know, I mean, how many games out there you remember the artist that did the artwork for the video games? Let me name one. Let's see if you can answer. Who did the artwork for like, let's say Street Fighter? Who did the artwork for that? You don't remember, right? But if you come to my booth, you know what I did. I feel a lot better when people come to work.
Then what about mangas and stuff like that?
What about the mangas?
Yeah. What about drawing manga and stuff like that? Do you plan on getting back into that, or?
You know, like first book, and then also my second book, the entire book gone too. So it's gonna take me a while to recover that part.
Well, I mean, you could start something new.
Yeah, I mean, I have to kind of rework on a lot of them. But one rule of thumb, when you create a comic book, it doesn't matter. You don't like it at the end. Never redraw the same comic book over again. You just move on and continue from there. because your artwork will change so much and you will never finish it.
Seriously, I mean, you've gotten a lot better.
You know, so if I draw my comics now, you know, the art style, everything will change. Anybody else? I guess not. I guess I'll see you guys at my booth over there. Come by, say hello, check it out. So, as for updates, thank you. As for update, I'm only in Fresno once a year right now, so it's a good time to